Good morning.
You looking like twins. We in the
Yeah,
same color.
totally
Great.
unscripted.
Great minds think alike. Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
I see the little shirt. Yes, yes.
It's
Love it, love it. How are you?
all right, and yourself?
I am well. I am well. Good morning, crafty coder or on the street correspondent. Welcome, welcome. I'm sleepy, but I'm all right. I'm here. Oh, wait, let me turn the do not disturb on. Folks will be calling me like, hey, everybody in the world should know what I'm doing at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Everybody in the world. Everybody. Okay. So how's your week been?
It was okay. Well, I was kind of busy, but in a good way.
Okay.
How about yours?
Same, same. I'm just every time I look around, I'm like, is it the end of the week yet? Is it the end of the week yet? And I hosted um I participated in my last OHIMA meeting as president yesterday. So
Wow.
my presidency has come to an end. So I will be past president for 2024, 2025. So
Okay.
yeah, it was bittersweet. I had one more. She said I sound sleepy. I know, don't I? I sound like Barry White, and I've got tea. I feel like I'm about to break out into a Barry White song, but I got some tea, so I'll be drinking on some tea in a minute. Um, and so I had one more. I had one last duty to do, and I finished that at the meeting. And so it was like it went by so quick, but it was good. And then I got invites to Data for Better Health meetings and all kinds of little stuff coming in the mail. I
Okay.
said, well, look
Good.
at here. So it was good. It was good.
Nice.
Oh, and it was my mom's birthday on
Oh.
well, wait. See, she gonna get me. First of all, it was Prince's birthday yesterday.
Yes,
I'm a
I
diehard
saw
Prince
that.
fan. But it was my mom's birthday on Thursday. And she turned 75, and I gave her a surprise birthday. She had no idea at the senior center. So that was what wore me out.
Okay.
Woo woo. I feel like Martin. Woo woo was zooped me. But she was surprised and she was happy, and it was a great thing. Uh, yeah, she is your. Oh Lord, she's your Gemini twin. Yes, ma'am. And I never know what I'm gonna get every morning, so I can only imagine what happens in your household, ma'am, with that twin and stuff. Good morning, Tanika. Good morning. Um, happy birthday. I'll tell her happy birthday. Well, she in the other room, so look, she probably listen. Well, she can't hear because I got earphones on now. But normally she be ear hustling. She be listening to everything that be going on. But luckily for her, that's how we got here because she heard Mr. Jesse talking. We were talking, and she was like, "Well, who's that man? He sounds so good. His voice is so soothing." I said, "Well, wait a minute. Hold up. He ruffling the seniors' feathers. Hold up. He out here in these." He's talking to the ladies, and that's really how we got here. 119 episodes later. Look at God. All righty. Let's get started. We'll be on this. She laughing. We'll be on this all morning. All right, all right. So welcome to our Saturday morning tea, where, as you see, we discuss everything, but we discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, things that are happening in the associations, and entrepreneurship, and anything else that tickles our fancy, but overall, the revenue cycle at large. And as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. And I'm trying something a little different. So we out here on X today. So we streaming to X to see what that
Okay.
looks like. I like to play every now and again. So welcome to any X folks that are out there watching. Welcome, welcome. I am Clarice Warner. I am the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance and education. So, first, let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified, marketable medical coder? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. Yes, yes. I'm gonna do some creating today. I feel that in my spirit. I got a music bug going on today. So, if you are interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, then check out the video description for the link. Joining me today is my illustrious co host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. And I just listened to one of our meetings after the meetings where you were talking about all the things you went through for your trademark just today. Our registered trademark, put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. The coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I have been a nurse for over 30 years. I transitioned away from the bedside in 2014. During the pandemic in 2020, I created a company called The Coding Nurse, LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how is that going?
It's going pretty well. I can't complain. And I have a funny story.
Well, do share.
I I was just, I just did my contract, right?
Correct. What?
One of the
Okay.
one of the students reached out to me and asked me if I could tutor her.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Was it the problem? Was it the?
Oh, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no.
Of course not. That would have been the coup de grace.
And it would have been a resounding heck no. You
Well,
don't
look
have enough money to pay me.
I love it when we get something on top of something on top of something on top of something. Well, look at here. Look at here. Well, tell them to come on into the fold. Come on into the fold. We got a whole bunch of stuff for you. That's what's up.
And
Congratulations on that.
but she really doesn't need it. She just
Probably not. But welcome to the family. Bring her on in.
we're going to talk tomorrow. She just needs a little, direction. That's it.
Has she taken her examination? Is she
Yeah,
certified?
she's RHIT.
That's a little different. I
Yeah.
know. It's a little different.
Hey, okay.
It's a little different because
I know just a
unless
little
she
bit.
doesn't have the certification, then you didn't get the full breadth of coding. You got a little bit. You got an introduction. You got enough to know what's what, but you didn't get down in the weeds with that. So unless she did some additional study, but
Well, it doesn't sound like she did, and probably my training made her aware.
so that's why she made that just tickled my spirit. So that's why she needs, the additional. And so look at how God placed y'all together in each
Mhm.
other's world, even though y'all had a lightweight blocker in the mix. Okay. All right. Well, that's great. I'm excited for you. That could have been a part of our little church announcements. Yeah, you always be jumping in way before.
Oh,
I just we don't understand. See what I got to deal with. All right. Let's see what's going on. Okay, they laughing. She said wait till she find out he is 6'2". Wait, I guess I didn't tell her that. She must still know that. Tell her mom still knows a sexy voice when she hears one. All right, all right. Good morning, Carolyn. See, they have already started. Everybody's saying hello. Look at the gang. The gang's all here. Lord.
Mhm.
Uh yeah, she's ready to level up. Definitely, definitely. That is a good thing. Good thing. And self-awareness and self-assessment is always good. You know what I'm saying? And so somebody else shouldn't have to tap you on the shoulder and be like, you know what? Hey, da 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 da. We've talked about that. So being self-aware and getting what you need to succeed is always great. Always great. All right, all right. So, um, well, we've already started. We've already jumped in. But for those who are new here, let me remind you that you can join in and add to the conversation. Don't be shy. Come on in. Come on in. Your opinion matters and is welcomed here. So, friends, you can use the chat. The chat will be the place where you can add your opinions, add your comments. But if you have a question, all that I ask is that you type a Q first so that we know it is a question for us and we don't miss it. But we will engage with you in all of the conversation in the chat. So, for those who are just joining us, welcome. And if you're watching the replay, welcome as well. Today, we are talking revenue optimization strategies for healthcare. It sounds like a whole bunch of big words, don't it? When I read, I said, "Oh, somebody's sound real fancy, don't they?" But first, let's get into our church announcements, shall we? Yes, we shall. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. Yes. 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 All right. All right. So today's church announcement. Um, I think I told y'all all about. I know I told y'all all about the town hall for AHEMA. So make sure that you register so you can have a front row seat to what's about to go down.
Mhm.
That's all I'll say. Also, I wrote down in my handy dandy notebook something about the AAPC on June 20th at 6 p.m. I don't know what that is. Maybe I need to look and see. I don't know if they. I know they have regular um, kind of town halls or fireside chats or whatever they have over on Facebook, and maybe that's what that was. I don't know what it was, but I wrote that down, so I'll get some more information about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was our friends over at Epic. Good morning, Vicky. How are you? Our friends over at Epic are running amok. Can I say this? No, they're running wild. We talked about AI. You know how AI is out here doing their thing. Well, Epic has released some open source AI validation tools for health systems. It's wide open. They busted wide open for everyone. Um, is that what it is? Okay. I'm like, I know I got something about the 20th. So she has her chapter presentation on June 20th, 6 p.m. My bad. I knew it was something that I was supposed to do for AAPC. I wrote it down. Okay. Um, so Epic is, and it's on GitHub. Actually, you can go out there and I don't know what none of this look. I'll show y'all. Let me show y'all so y'all can get the big eye like I do. You might feel right at home, Mr. Jesse, when you see all this stuff. But I was like, okay, if you say, you say so, you say so. Okay, so this is GitHub, and this is the Epic open source information, and these are all the things. So I don't know what any of this stuff means, but this is where all of the AI the AI validation tool that Epic has uh, put out there for folks to learn. And um, this is an AI model evaluation with a focus on healthcare. So if you or someone you know and love plays around with the IT side of coding and want to get into the nitty gritty of all of these things, well, come on out here and play with Epic. The other thing about this that I heard, and I'm not certain if this open source piece is part of it. It may be, but there's a module that Epic is using, and I heard about this yesterday. That there's an Epic model that Epic is using for release of information, and folks was real up in arms. And somebody turned it on, I guess, in their organization or facility, and I guess it did what they thought it needed to do, and replaced several release of information positions. So I don't know anything more than that, but we've talked about, how we've focused primarily on AI and its role in clinical documentation and revenue cycle and coding and that kind of thing, medical coding and that kind of thing. But they are apparently putting AI into all other areas of health information, and release of information is now one of them. So I wanted to give that information. And Mr. Jesse, feel free to jump in at any time.
It just, well, I think Epic is trying to get in front of or trying to keep up with 3M / Solventum, because they're moving full steam ahead with this whole AI thing, and it's just not, the hype doesn't match the reality, at least right now. So
yeah, I remember I was at where was I think it must have been at our town or our trade show and meeting, our annual meeting, with one of the 3M vendor that had a booth, because she was like, we're changing our name, and they had the colors, and I think it was green, and she was going on, and there was a lot of uncertainty because it was relatively new at the time. So this was in March, and they were just kind of rolling out what that looked like. So yeah. So everyone, they wanted to mention, you mentioned that, I wanted to look up and see whether or not, because somebody said it was somebody thought 3M also had the reason why I'm looking, somebody thought that 3M also had some sort of release of information piece. And then the conversation was like, well, I thought they were removing themselves from that, da-da-da-da-da. And so it could be both. It could actually be both of those organizations or companies are actually playing in the game. But then one of the things that was brought to our attention was, but this is commerce 101. Like, these big companies are now monopolizing. The little guy doesn't seem to be able to be a player in this mix. And my thing is, you got to find what the value you have for your customer, right? You have to find, this is what we do the best. You can't try to necessarily compete with you. You'll never get there at this rate. They're already millions and years ahead of the game. And so you just got to find that one thing that allows you to stick out, and be of value to those that are your customer base.
But that's if that's your model, because what's going on now is each of them are trying to cross into each other's lanes.
Right.
Because, you know, Epic as an EMR, I think is great. 3M as an encoder, I think is great. But I don't think because like right now, like where I work, I have to use both. They don't integrate well together. They're supposed to, but it doesn't. And it's not ever going to, because they're not ever going to collaborate. They're not ever going to let so much information out. So it's going to be a piecemeal to try to get it to do what it needs to do. So because there's that friction, they're trying to one up the other one by saying, well, you don't need them at all. We can do everything. And it's just, I just think that's going to be a problem, because then what's going to happen when it doesn't do what it's going to do? Then you can't just pick up and go to another vendor. You'll have to just redo everything, which is not going to be cost effective or efficient.
Not at all.
So I don't know how this is going to play out in 5 years, but it's going to be interesting.
So for those smaller competitors in this game, in this market, I mean, keep plugging. Plugging.
Then there's also, like, when you're talking about like these smaller, like they're smaller, like there's open source EMRs like Practice Fusion, like Office Ally, like, how are they going to factor into this? It's going to be interesting to see.
It is. And what becomes of all of the things. And because we talked a couple of weeks ago about, regulations that are being imposed on these things, and making sure that folks follow those. So first of all, make sure folks are aware of, and then follow those. And so staying current and keeping on top of all of the things. Yeah, that's part of the nature of the game. So,
Yep.
Let's see. They said that this was free and available to the public. They wanted to make sure that by publishing it on GitHub, it's truly available to everyone. It's not behind any lock or key that we control. We're excited to dive into this world. It's fitting that a tool intended to ensure the equity of health AI is going to be publicly available and open to contributors from around the globe.
So what's going to end up happening is that GitHub is going to be the Chat GPT of Epic.
Yep.
So as people start to add to it, it's going to get better and better.
Yep. And I'm sure all kinds of, if they got their stuff out there, then I'm sure other things are out there. Again, if this part of the world is your jam, this is your playground. This is where you get to learn and be on top of and polish your skills and market yourself for those things. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Some of them, a couple of the Mayo Clinic, Duke Health, Kaiser, a couple of those folks, University of Wisconsin's Health, are talking about using the Epic AI Trust and Assurance software suite to conduct the study to generate evidence around the use of the tools to locally test and monitor AI models. So folks are out here collaborating and trying to use these tools, and hopefully, like to your point, make them better for everybody. And then they're really kind of pushing the equity button, making sure that, and we talked about that, uh, recently as well, making sure that there's the bias or funneling out those bias. And then, this is a great, I wish I'd known about this and we could talk about that when we were looking at that. But making sure if you're finding those things that you are reporting them. So if you see something, you say something. And particularly while it's open source, folks can actually go in and be able to play around and see if there's something that someone should do. It said this is completely. It's designed to work with predictive models that we created as well as predictive models we have no hand in creating. At Epic, the model we like to live by is do good, have fun, make money. All right. And we feel like this one really fits in that do good part. It feels like an opportunity to leverage our expertise in this space to further the global community's ability to evaluate AI and use it safely. So yeah, that was my church announcement, Mr. Jesse. I didn't know if you had any additional church announcements other than your first one. I don't know if any of our members in the chat had any announcements they wanted to share either. I'm not seeing none. I feel like my cheer hat. Hearing none. We will move right along. So today, let the tea spilling begin. We want to talk about if you are a member of the AAPC, you should have received an email about the case studies that the AAPC did regarding some audit insights on optimizing revenue across inpatient and outpatient settings. And so we wanted to do kind of a deeper dive into, and I guess it'll probably just be easier if I show my screen on it. I think that would be the better thing to do. Open up my comments so I can pay attention to y'all too. Okay. So here is the actual case study here. It was from Ray Marie Jimenez, which I think she does a lot on their town halls. I've seen her name a lot. So I think she's one of those forwarding facing folks at AAPC. I think the last slide actually talks to what her title is and what she does. And Stephanie E. Scott, who gives her title, VP of AAPC Services. Ray Marie wanted to give her credentials, and Stephanie said, let me show you my title. So, this particular case study is about looking at healthcare revenue streams and the disruptions that they face. It's critical to tap into hidden potential within your pro fee or facility claims. And so they are sharing actionable profit strategies derived from real audit findings. Over 500,000 medical records were analyzed. Their insights focus on reducing risk, enhancing revenue, and implementing AAPC's gold standard audit training to drive financial growth. So while they are giving you information about what is happening, I mean, it is a marketing tool as well. But go ahead.
I just remember, this is not a church announcement, but this is something we got to keep our eye on.
Okay.
Did you hear that the AMA is talking about a class action lawsuit against Change Healthcare?
Oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. It might have been in my emails this morning because I get all my email. For whatever reason, Saturday morning is where all my AMA stuff comes from.
Oh, okay.
I will have to check that out. Uh-oh. Wow. That's going to be interesting. Interesting.
No, where compassionate sacrifice meets litigation.
That part. That part. Wow. Yeah, they turning that on the dime, huh?
No, they like, no, you messing up my country club membership. I can't pay my bills. Oh, you gonna pay?
And I gotta pay you back from this little loan that you
Exactly.
lightweight trying to hand me so I can survive. You better come better than that. We gonna make you come better than that. How about that? So, um, so there are some things, and let me thank my co-host, Mr. Jesse, for introducing this bit of information in our topic today. So, I didn't know if you wanted to jump in, or is there anything in particular that you want to discuss as it pertained to inpatient things? I know that's your jam. I also, one of the things that they mentioned, where is it? Here. Um, they were talking about the top DRG errors and how they kind of correspond with the OIG and industry watch list. Um, what they're finding again, and a lot of this we know and we've talked about before. Sepsis, 24% error rates, digestive, 15%, cellulitis, 12%, knee and ankle, 9%, respiratory, 7%, diabetes, 6%, and other MS. I don't know why they have the DRG numbers listed here twice, but other MS, 5% as well. And so we know sepsis has always been a hot OIG watch list because it's low lying fruit. Clearly, you see that. Um, Malnutrition and those kind of things. The thing is, and I always ask, like, well, what is happening? Why is sepsis always there, and what's going on? Um, I think folks just are not necessarily. They're saying sepsis topping the list due to the complexity introduced by ICD-10, but you got guidance. It's a lot of guidance. There's a lot of guidance in the official guidelines surrounding sepsis, but you just got to follow that. I mean, Mr. Jesse, do and of
Oh,
course, ultimately, documentation is the elephant in the room. But
well, go ahead.
go ahead.
The problem with sepsis is the clinical criteria for sepsis is very low. Like the 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 barrier to entry is not all that high.
Okay.
So it's very easy to meet the criteria with or without a source of infection.
Okay.
And and that's also in the guidelines that positive blood culture is not required for a diagnosis of sepsis,
Hmm.
which it makes sense because it could be viral.
Correct.
If it's like bacterial, or fungal, you probably will have positive blood cultures. But if you have sepsis from COVID, it's not you might not see an increase. You might not see positive blood cultures, but there's not enough. It's too vague, and then a lot of times you have people like I see it all the time when I mean people barely meet criteria because you have to have like a heart rate greater than 90, respirations greater than 20. You don't have to necessarily have a fever, but if you have somebody who is asthmatic and they come to the hospital, if they're having an attack, their heart rate is going to be greater than 90 and their respirations are going to be greater than 20.
Mm.
But they would meet clinical criteria. And then if they could have bronchitis. So you would probably have or it could be caused by bronchitis. You would have maybe even elevated WBCs. Not a whole lot,
Hmm.
but it has to be greater than 12.
Hmm.
So that person clinically meets the criteria for sepsis, but when it gets to the insurance company and you see they have a past medical history with asthma, you see they have bronchitis, how is that how does that relate to sepsis? So that's where the validation, that's why it is so high. The error rate is so high because there's a whole lot of what if you can play on the back end.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for that insight. There was something else. So they talked about diagnosis accuracy. They evaluated primary and secondary diagnosis accuracy, witnessing a slight increase in primary accuracy from 94% to 95% in 2023. However, secondary diagnosis accuracy saw a decline to 91%. Further analysis revealed common errors in conditions like diabetes and atrial fibrillation, often attributed to specificity issues. Additionally, nearly 20% of additional codes fell under the Z code category, indicating a need for deeper scrutiny. Um,
Now, I the one thing that I wanted to, before you scroll, post procedural pain. Post procedural pain can be acute or chronic. So, because that code is for acute post procedural pain,
mhm.
but because actually when I was doing my when I was preparing for my training, I realized there's a guideline that if pain is um, to be expected as a result of surgery, which a lot of times it is,
Mhm.
that post procedural pain shouldn't be reported. Post procedural pain, according to the guidelines, is for pain outside of what is expected after a procedure.
Mhm.
So they anticipate pain, but it's like above and beyond that.
Mhm.
So that's probably how it got in there, but it should just be, in my opinion, it should be acute post procedural pain, just for more specificity, because I don't that code doesn't I don't think there's um, a non-essential modifier of chronic, because chronic pain is G89.28.
And they said so. Even in their analysis, they talked about 20% of additional code. Oh, maybe these is not. They didn't put it in this actual diagram because I'm like, well, I only see one Z code in here, but I think um, some of that may also be attributed to the push to reflect any social determinants of health as well. And some of the guidance that have were released this year actually for specific um, social determinant of health codes that should be um, coded. Crafty Coder said pain leading to post-op complications. Okay. All right, all right. Let's see what else. Oh, here we are. Maybe I should have waited to the next slide. Um, they said consider social determinants of health is not just about facility or prophy perspectives anymore. We're delving into. I want to know that AI do this because that delving is a key indicator of a AI generated document. But anyway, we're delving into holistic patient care. Are frequent readmissions linked to homelessness and barriers to medication access or nutritious meals? This comprehensive data paints a vivid picture of patient well being. Quality initiatives and measures also take center stage. Documentation and data transcend financial considerations alone. While financial viability is essential, tracking patient trends and outcomes against themselves and the wider population is equally vital. Um, yes. Our findings underscore the importance of addressing secondary codes accuracy, especially amidst staffing shortages and a focus on DRG accuracy. And they should have added the introduction of AI. Um, this is in talking about physician queries and risk adjustment programs. Um, Missed opportunities are lurk within physician queries, while the overall miss rate is relatively low. A concerning 49% increase in missed queries surfaced in 2023. These missed opportunities could impact coding accuracy, affecting reimbursement and the portrayal of patient conditions. The delicate balance of physician queries arise from concerns of query fatigue amid ongoing staffing challenges post COVID. Despite administrative burdens, specificity remains paramount. Unspecified codes not only heighten denial risk, but also obscure the true patient narrative, impacting reimbursements and program effectiveness. Coding accuracy isn't just about financial gains, it's about painting a true picture of patient health and ensuring effective risk adjustment and quality initiatives. Um, and maybe they're going to mention that, but to me, that's all about documentation. So, can we call a spade a spade?
And but I just had this conversation with one of my coworkers yesterday because they talk a lot. I mean, because it's an ongoing situation between CDI and coding, period.
Correct.
And it's supposed to be a collaboration, but it's really not. It's the most passive aggressive relationship you could really ever see in a workplace.
I believe it. I
And
believe it. And it's only going to get worse as we
exactly,
travel, as we kind of figure out what our marriage is with, specifically with AHIMA and 8T Pro. But go
and
ahead.
the whole query thing is just, I mean, it is just a very, it's a contentious topic because to actually write an appropriate query takes time.
Hmm.
I mean, it does. I've gotten
It's like a
better.
legal brief.
Yeah, for real,
It is.
for
It
real.
is. Because you
Because
got to show, you got to kind of paint the pic. Well, you got to ask your question in the manner in which it needs to be asked. But then you also need to present your case, if you will,
that's
from the
exactly
documentation that is either missing or the additional documentation and clinical criteria that you found.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it takes time to get it right. It really, really does.
And
To make
practice.
it
I mean,
exactly. I mean, to get it to be everything you said, because it has to be succinct because you only have but so much space.
correct.
And to make it relevant, you have to have all of the pertinent indicators. Like, I mean, what it has made me is a pro in Microsoft Word. I mean, I can format and copy and paste like no other now, and it's all because and then you have to make sure that you don't it because you cannot highlight anything because everything has to be the same. Font has to be the same. You can like highlighting and all that is not allowed because this is considered leading.
Leading. Hmm.
So it's a lot. It's a lot to it, and it causes It causes a problem because then not half the time, but a lot of times providers don't even respond or they don't respond appropriately. But that whole like leading to query fatigue. But the way you prevent query fatigue is through relevant and ongoing provider education to address what you're seeing from the queries. The queries indicate what you should be doing your resident educational or provider educational, and they don't. That's the piece that's missing, in my opinion.
Hmm. I agree. Um, they also did a focus on inpatient E&M services. Um, this is the background from January through December 2023. 3,000 providers. They looked at 40,000 multi specialty claims. Um, when they conducted the initial office visit E&M case study following the 2021 changes, they discovered an 83% accuracy rate overall. Surprisingly, 7% of claims were overcoded while 9% were undercoded. Back then, most providers and coders approached the changes cautiously, leading to hesitancy, especially with the significant shift from the 95 to 97 guidelines to the 2021 guidelines. Fast forward to 2023, they observed an overall improvement across all E&M types. For a detailed comparison of our findings from previous years, da 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 da. While it's encouraging to see a decrease in undercoding, there's still room for improvement to avoid overcoding. Um, and it says it's clear that office visit code 99214 was consistently the most overcoded E&M, a trend that hasn't changed much over the years. On the flip side, 99213 emerges as the most undercoded E&M. There seems to be a struggle in determining whether it should be classified as a level 4 or level 3, indicating a need for more precision in coding. I don't know about that. Because, well, from my perspective, and I think we talked about that when we looked at the 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 documentation. So from an audit perspective, and when we looked at the video with the physician, because clearly the documentation was there, but does the coder
Hmm.
understand what that documentation says? And so um I'm not gonna throw, the coders and auditors on the under the bus, but you need to know your stuff, right? You need to be able to take all the clinical knowledge that you have and all the information that you have to be able to code appropriately, and not just, oh, I want that to be in this spot, and then so if it's there, then I'll count it, and if it's not, I won't. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, issues with modifier 25. Um, In our 2023 audit results, they uncovered a significant issue with modifier 25, despite efforts, and this has been ongoing for decades. Despite efforts to address errors in its utilization, we saw a slight uptick in incorrect usage. Only 8% of the claims out of over 40,000 were accurately leveling E&Ms using the total visit time. The persistent challenge with modifier 25 raises concerns, especially when it's applied unnecessarily. Even innocent mistakes can reflect poorly on coding accuracy, potentially undermining credibility. Um, yeah, that part. Somewhere I read in here, yeah, okay, the provider's preferred methodology for coding. Um, when we surveyed providers on their preferred methodology for coding medical decision making or time, 90% indicated that medical decision making better reflects the work they do. It's fascinating to see how the data corroborates their assumptions, underscoring the importance of aligning coding practices with providers' perspectives. Which I agree, and that has always been my recommendation for providers when documenting for E&M services, is to make the use of the medical decision making and not necessarily rely on time. There are times when time will work in their favor, but it's been my experience that documenting your information according to the things not necessarily associated with time, unless it's a time-based code, is more beneficial to the provider. And um, kind of aligns with some of those low-lying fruit areas where, if um, an audit or an extrapolation comes into play, they're looking at your schedule. And if your schedule says you done scheduled all of these people during this amount of time, but then you're coding based on time, and the time is not at the math doesn't math, you putting yourself out there as a potential um, risk. So do the right thing, y'all.
That part.
Do the right thing. Procedural accuracy says in 2021, we achieved an 88% accuracy rate with 6% of procedures reported incorrectly and an additional 6% of codes added unnecessarily. Fast forward to 2023, they saw a significant jump to a 93% accuracy rate. This improvement can be attributed to diligent efforts of our training team, who work closely with our customers to enhance surgical procedure coding accuracy. Okay, all right. And then they gave some case studies. The most common errors as it relates to procedures are modifiers unbundling or coding the wrong code. Most common incorrect or miscodes, J codes, vaccine administration, radiology, lesion destruction or removal, cerumen removals, and removal of sutures or staples. The introduction of CPT code 15854 for suture removal without anesthesia in 2023 presented a new coding opportunity that was often overlooked. So, information there. Let's see. And then they go into some of the financial scenarios and impact of coding inaccuracy, how if they were providing counseling with the MMR vaccine, the price difference. So without counseling, it's $20.64. With counseling, it's $40.27. So if you have 100 patients that come through the door, you're not coding for the counseling that you provided, which is a difference of $19.63. Then that's almost $2,000 in lost revenue. So making sure that the coding is accurate to what is happening. Failure to accurately report units for pre-malignant lesion destructions can result in missed revenue. If there are multiple lesions, making sure those are indicated. Um, that's a lot of money down sure, for not coding that, and they kind of dive into that as well. Oh, what did they say? What did they say? It was something that I saw this in this little box. We talked about this just last week. Historically, there's been a perception that diagnosis coding for professional services is secondary to CPT coding since CPT drives reimbursement. This mindset may persist from the transition of ICD-10, despite efforts to emphasize the importance of capturing all current diagnoses. As a result, some details may still be overlooked in the coding process. No, it is a direct reflect of the training that folks had that CPT was more important, and CPT became what you were primarily trained on and not your ICD-10. Can we say
That's right.
can we put it out there like we put it out there, because that's it works together. Your diagnosis is just as important the um as the CPT code or procedure or the reason for
Hmm.
the encounter. And really, your diagnosis provides the medically necessary reason for the encounter. So, why is this patient standing in front of you? You take a look at that diagnosis code that's going to tell you. It all works hand in hand. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that floors me. And as we have uncovered here several times, and then folks not even understanding or knowing the guidelines that help in determining and deciding what your coding were. Again, they talked about the most common diagnoses code errors. Z codes make up 58%, pain and other symptom codes, sepsis, COVID, and other infection codes, cancer codes, diabetes codes, hypertension, and depression. Yeah. And some of those were, again, based on specificity, which at the end of the day is based on the documentation that oftentimes is received that doesn't have the specificity that is warranted. So again, put the whole, if you're going to put the picture out there, if you're going to set the table, set the whole table. Don't just set one place setting, set it all. Set it
There
all.
you go.
So everybody know. Everybody know. Everybody know. Okay. I think that's
But
on. Go ahead.
the thing that has always fascinated me about these kinds of reports is, there's plenty of information out there. I just don't understand, why can't these health systems get it right? Like, they show you exactly what the problems are. Like,
Mhm.
they can't. The only thing left for them to do is actually come and do it for you.
Exactly. Exactly. You're right. And then they go into all the other emergency department, again, um, ICD coding, um, all of that. But you're absolutely correct in that. And it's training. I think the organizations, even when they take people in, even when they hire folks in, and we've talked about this too, the orientations to the organization, as well as an orientation to level set the coding that occurs and the policies of that particular organization, and just making sure that the person is knowledgeable and well versed on the types of coding guidance that pertains to the type of coding that they're providing is essential. And it's a lost art. It's something that doesn't happen anymore. Um, and I will not say, oh, it's because everybody's virtual. No, y'all do everything else virtual. You can do this
That's
virtual
right.
too. You make the time for it. So yeah. So this talks about, and so the next steps, what you should do. Again, audits and targeted training. I just said that. Audits and targeted training are essential for success. General education is important, but by focus on specific issues through targeted training, you can see measurable improvements. This way, you can track your progress and ensure your efforts are making a difference. Denial analysis. Short staffed areas often face challenges with denials. By investigating the reason behind these denials, you can uncover valuable insights. Also, you need to correct the bleed. Are there specific types of denials or problematic payers? Given the healthcare system's recent challenges, such as backlogs and technical issues, denials may become even more frequent. Your CDI efforts or clinical documentation improvement are vital. Bridging the gap between clinical practices and coding guidelines, you can drive accurate documentation that supports proper coding, streamline operational and billing efficiencies. It's not just about getting the documentation and coding right, you need to examine your operational and billing processes. Sometimes the tools given to providers result in inefficient workarounds that don't follow best coding practices. By auditing the entire process, from patient visit to claim submission, you can identify and streamline these inefficiencies. Mitigate risk even after receiving payment. It's important to understand that it may not be entirely secure. It's one thing to get it, it's something else to keep it. With heightened security and audits, staying vigilant is essential. By focusing on areas of concern identified by the OIG and conducting both internal and external audits, you can maintain compliance and minimize risk effectively. And then measure impacts and improvements. It's important to remember that people focus on what's measured. Ooh, I say that all the time. Without tracking your progress through re audits and reassessments, driving improvement becomes challenging. With reimbursement shrinking, every dollar becomes crucial. Therefore, having effective programs in place to optimize revenue and compliance is essential. So that was pretty much, she's the chief product officer at AAPC. Yes. So that's pretty much this in a nutshell. Um, Additional thoughts?
No, it's a very in-depth report. It really, really is, and it's just anybody who is involved in the revenue cycle period could really read that and get something from it because it covers the gamut, inpatient, outpatient, and it gives you the specific codes. So I think that this
It's
kind
a
of
it's a great playbook, because
yes,
then you can, especially if you've identified some of this same information in your own organization, then you can target and tailor based on this information your curriculum, if you will, for those areas when you're doing the training. So it's already
yep,
there. You don't even have to reinvent it.
nope,
AI help them out, and AI will help you out. Yeah, but this was great. This was great. So thank you for bringing this to top of mind so that we could share this with the folks out there, um, in our medical coding world. This is
hmm
good. This is good. All right. She said billing. Hey, I thought you would get a kick out of that, particularly the denials management piece. You know that's your jam. All right, y'all. All right. Well, this has been good. Any other pressing things that we need to let the folks know? Let the folks know.
no,
We are
not
at
that
the
I
top of
know
the
of.
hour. This was good. I thought it
Yeah,
was gonna run over, but I think we did good. I think I hit the highlights, um,
definitely.
and drove the point home. Keeping in mind, the biggest elephant in the room was that the documentation got to support all of it. So
Everything, everything.
making sure folks document appropriately. All right, all right. Well, as we are here at the top of the hour, let us Put you up on some game. Did you know that by becoming a patron of ours, you're joining a community of individuals who share a deep appreciation for the intricacies of healthcare revenue cycle? We just shared a little bit of that with you today. Here's what you can expect as a value patron of or Patreon of our member and a member of our Tea Sippers. That's our name, the Tea Sippers, where you get exclusive healthcare insights. You gain access to in depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access, be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring that you stay ahead in the ever evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support, enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, revenue cycle management. I should add entrepreneurship, all of the things, government contracting, we throw it out there. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. Community connection. So join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. Yes, we do talk solutions. By supporting us on Patreon, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success so that we can continue to provide the information to you. A resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles. So, thank you in advance for considering becoming a Patreon, being a member of the Tea Sippers. You can check out the link in the description of the video. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information. You can also check us out at patreon.com/Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls. All right. Yes. Well, thank you all again for joining the Saturday morning tea or checking out the replay. Let me ask, was the tea spilled today? Was there tea spilled today? I think there was.
Absolutely.
I think there was too. All right, all right. Mr. Jesse, do you have any final words for the day?
No.
All right, all right. So if this information was valuable for you, help us share this message with others by sharing the video and subscribing to the channel. Be sure to follow us for more information on all things health information, compliance, revenue cycle, and medical coding. And as you leave out, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. Also, check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube where he provides some gems as well. That's right. Don't forget to put your teacups in the chat. Put your
That's right.
teacups in the chat.
Oh, tomorrow I have my first Spanish lesson.
Of course you do. Are
And I'm
you going
scheduled.
are you going to wow the instructor with your pre uh knowledge of Spanish? Are you going to hit them with all the things you know coming in the door?
Of course, but it just dawned on me what I should have done. I should have ordered a sombrero.
I'm about to fall on the floor. I promise y'all.
Ah,
Ah.
gracias, Carolyn.
Not a whole sombrero. Y'all gonna be ready. Is it gonna be on Zoom? Can you somebody record that? Can we get just a 5 second recording of you and the conversation? That's all I need. 5 second.
It,
5 second.
it, it
Yeah,
is going to be.
Amazon Prime. It's never too late. You can still get it. You can get it probably tomorrow. Probably
See,
today if you order early enough.
exactly. You know what? That is a thought. Though, and then I'm scheduled for jury duty on Thursday. I'm hope,
Wow.
I'm hoping I get canceled. Last year I did.
Uh-oh.
That's the good thing about being in a large city. They got enough people.
Yes, yes. You know he is. He gonna be advanced from the beginning.
Oh,
Absolutely. Telling the instructor what they need to do.
oh, no, see, I don't do that.
You don't be like those folks that be coming at you. No, because you
No,
appreciate the reason why you're there. You appreciate that
exactly.
you're there to get knowledge, and it's transactional. I gave, you
Hmm.
give, and there's always something to learn.
Always.
But then you know, just because you come in kicking the door in, folks can't be intimidated. They got to know and stand on 10 toes down on what it is that they know,
Right.
and know that they're there to help you. Like I tell folks, you chose me. You
Right.
chose me for a reason. You chose me, so let me help you. Oh my God, I wish I could be 5 minutes. Just get 5 minutes of you. Do a screenshot, something. I don't know. Just give us 5 minutes and send it to me so I can add it to all of them.
But I'm going to do that. And before our sessions are over, I'm going to take a screenshot of me in a sombrero.
like, like we got you. Whatever you need. We got you. Whatever you need. I love it though. I love that. Ever since you said it, it's tickled my whole spirit. But you, as always, you're on to something. You're on to something.
I'm
That's what's
trying.
up. That's
Look,
what's up.
what did that what is the line in the theme song to Good Times? Keeping your head above water,
Hey,
making a
make it
way
a
where
way
you
where you
can.
can. Hey, 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 and helping others in the process. We
There
just
you
want to get in there,
go.
helping others in
See,
the
that
process.
was a word right there. See, I was
That was
getting
a
ready.
word.
Yes.
That was a word. Love it. So if this information was valuable and you got a word today, help us share this message with others by sharing the video and subscribing to the channel. That algorithm, we need it. We need it. Um, so again, this has been a great session. See you tea sippers at 10:15. Oh, I got some stuff to tell y'all. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Look, and
um,
Carolyn, I won't forget the margaritas.
uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh Lord. See, they did a whole other thing to us now. So thank you for joining, and remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Have a great weekend. And until next time.